a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Harry Kane. Harry Edward Kane is an English professional footballer who plays as a striker for club Tottenham Hotspur and captains the England national team. Kane made his first team debut for Tottenham on the 25th of August 2011 in a UEFA Europa League match against Hearts. Before establishing himself in Tottenham's first team, he spent time on loan in League One playing for Leyton Orient, in the Championship playing for Millwall and Leicester City, and in the Premier League for Norwich City. He became a regular starter for Tottenham in the 2014-15 season, in which he scored 31 goals, 21 in the league, and he was named the PFA Young Player of the Year. Kane finished top scorer of both the 2015-16 and the 2016-17 Premier League seasons, and aided Tottenham in qualifying for the UEFA Champions League on both occasions. He has been named Premier League Player of the Month 6 times, a record which he shares with Steven Gerrard, and was selected for the PFA Team of the Year in each of the last 4 seasons. He has scored over 100 goals for Tottenham, which includes over 100 Premier League goals, and is currently 6th in the team's all-time top goal scorers list. At international level, he represented England at youth levels, playing for the under-17, under-19, under-20 and under-21 levels. He scored on his senior international debut on the 27th of March 2015 and was selected for UEFA Euro 2016. In 2017, The Guardian ranked Kane the 5th best footballer in the world. Kane played at the 2018 FIFA World Cup where he won the Golden Boot, finishing as the top goal scorer, becoming only the second English player to do so, after Gary Lineker in 1986. Early life. Harry Edward Kane was born in Walthamstow, London to Kim and Patrick Kane, and has one older brother, Charlie. He has Irish ancestry through his father, who is from Galway. The family moved to Chingford, where he attended Larkswood Primary Academy until 2004, followed by Chingford Foundation School. He played football from a young age, joining a local club Ridgeway Rovers when he was 6 in 1999. Kane talked about footballing in the family. Kane also said, "Most of my family were Spurs fans and I grew up 15 minutes from the ground, so I was always going to be a Spurs fan." He named former Spurs striker Teddy Sheringham his childhood idol, and saw him as a great finisher and a role model in his ability to score goals. In a 2018 interview with Thierry Henry for Sky Sports, Kane spoke of his admiration for the former Brazil forward Ronaldo, adding that he loved to watch footage of him on YouTube. "Ronaldo was one guy I watched, just the way he moved, the way he finished, the goals he scored. He was great. You could just sit there for an hour or so watching all his best clips. He was one of the first ones I looked at and thought, wow, he's a goal scorer, I want to be a goal scorer." Beginnings. Kane first played for a local club Ridgeway Rovers, and joined the Arsenal Youth Academy when he was 8 years old. He was released after 1 season for being a bit chubby and not very athletic, according to Liam Brady, who was then in charge of Arsenal's academy. Manager Arsene Wenger stated in November 2015 that he was disappointed that Arsenal chose to release Kane. He also had a trial at Tottenham Hotspur, but was not initially successful, and he returned to his old club Ridgeway Rovers. In 2004, at the age of 11, he joined Watford Academy for a 4 to 6 week trial, and was then given another chance at Tottenham after he impressed playing for Watford against Tottenham. He first played at Tottenham as a midfielder, initially in a holding position, then as an attacking midfielder. In his early days at the club, he did not stand out as a player as he was not big nor was he particularly quick, but those who worked with him at the club noted his constant desire to improve various aspects of his game. In the 2008-09 season, he played in the under-16 side that competed in the Copa Chivas tournament in Mexico, and the Bellinzona tournament in Switzerland, scoring 3 goals. In July 2009, on his 16th birthday, he signed a scholarship contract with Tottenham. In the 2009-10 season, Kane played 22 times for Tottenham's under-18s, scoring 18 goals. Kane appeared on the first-team bench twice during the 2009-10 season. Both matches were in home domestic cup victories. won the League Cup fixture against Everton on the 27th of October 2009 and the other in the FA Cup fourth-round replay against Bolton Wanderers on the 24th of February 2010. He signed his first professional contract with the club in July 2010. 2010-11 season. On the 7th of January 2011, Kane moved to Leyton Orient on loan until the end of the 2010-11 season. Manager Russell Slade was happy at his arrival and said, "I'm sure he will have an impact with us over the coming months." He made his first team debut for Orient on the 15th of January, coming on as a substitute for Scott McGillish in the 73rd minute of a 1-1 draw away to Rochdale. A week later, Kane scored his first team goal against Sheffield Wednesday. Making his first ever start, unmarked, Kane scored from a Dean Cox free kick in the 57th minute as Orient eventually won 4-0. Slade said that he was delighted that Kane scored a goal on his first league start. On the 12th of February, he scored twice in a 4-1 win over Bristol Rovers. After coming on as a substitute for McGillish in the 70th minute, he ended the season scoring 5 goals in 18 matches. 2011-12 season. On the 25th of August 2011, Kane made his first appearance for Tottenham, starting in the second leg of their UEFA Europa League qualification round against Hearts, with Tottenham making changes after winning the first leg 5-0. His debut was a goalless match, although he won a penalty after being fouled by goalkeeper Jamie McDonald, who then saved the penalty which Kane took himself. He went on to make 6 appearances in the Europa League that season, scoring his first Tottenham goal in the 4-0 win away to Shamrock Rovers on the 15th of December 2011. On the 29th of December 2011, Kane and Tottenham teammate Ryan Mason agreed to join Championship club Millwall on loan from the 1st of January 2012 until the end of the season. After making his debut against Bristol City, manager Kenny Jackett said that he had a very good debut, but was unlucky not to score. He also said that Kane would be a good addition for the club in the second half of the season. He went on to score 7 goals in the final 14 matches of the season. Kane scored 9 goals in 27 matches, which resulted in him being named Millwall's Young Player of the Year for 2011-12. His run of goals scored towards the end of the season has been credited with helping to raise Millwall in the table away from the threat of relegation that season. 2012-13 season. Kane spent pre-season with Tottenham, scoring a hat-trick in a 6-0 away win against Southend United on the 10th of August 2012. On the 18th of August, he made his Premier League debut against Newcastle United, coming as an 86th-minute substitute for Sandro. Tottenham lost the match 2-1. On the 31st of August 2012, Kane joined Premier League team Norwich City on a season-long loan, making his debut as a substitute against West Ham United. Kane suffered an injury, breaking a metatarsal bone, in the League Cup tie against Doncaster Rovers in only his second appearance. The 19-year-old underwent his rehabilitation at Tottenham, but returned to action for Norwich on the 29th of December 2012, coming off the bench at half-time as Norwich lost 3-4 to Manchester City. However, with Tottenham having been unable to add to their attacking options during the January transfer window, they opted to recall Kane on the 1st of February 2013, 4 months before he was due to return. 20 days after he was recalled to Tottenham, Kane joined Leicester City for the remainder of the season to aid in the club's push for automatic promotion from the Championship. He marked his home debut with a goal against Blackburn Rovers in a 3-0 win on the 26th of February 2013. He made 13 appearances for the East Midlands club, 8 from the bench, and they reached the playoff semi-final before being eliminated by Watford. 2013-14 season. Kane scored his first Tottenham goal at White Hart Lane in a League Cup tie against Hull City, scoring the equaliser in extra time. The match finished 2-2. Tottenham won 8-7 on penalties, with Kane taking and converting the 5th of the 9 sets of spot kicks. On the 7th of April 2014, Kane was given his first Premier League start for Tottenham, in a 5-1 win against Sunderland, and scored his first Premier League goal in the 59th minute of the match. He also scored in the following match, helping Tottenham to recover from a 3-0 deficit against West Bromwich Albion before eventually drawing 3-3. He scored for the third match in a row on the 19th of April, this time helping Tottenham to a 3-1 London derby win at home over Fulham. 2014-15 season. Kane made his first appearance of the 2014-15 season as a substitute against West Ham on the opening day of the Premier League season, providing an assist for the match-winning goal by Eric Dyer. He scored in both matches against Cypriot opposition Al Limassol in Tottenham's UEFA Europa League playoffs, scoring an 80th-minute winner in the first leg, and opening the scoring in the 3-0 seconds leg victory after missing a penalty. He scored a late goal against Nottingham Forest in the League Cup to secure a 3-1 victory for Tottenham on the 24th of September 2014. On the 23rd of October 2014, Kane scored his first professional hat-trick for Tottenham in a 5-1 win over Asteras Tripoli in the group stage of the UEFA Europa League. Kane was forced to play in goal for the final 3 minutes of the match, after Hugo Lloris had been sent off with no substitutions remaining, and conceded a goal when he dropped a free kick from Hieronymo Brals. On the 2nd of November 2014, Kane came on as a second-half substitute in Tottenham's 2-1 win over Aston Villa and scored his first Premier League goal of the season to win the match in the 90th minute. A week later, Kane was selected in Spurs' starting lineup for the first time in the Premier League season. As the team lost 2-1 at home to Stoke City, he retained his place in the first 11 for Spurs' 2-1 win away to Hull City on the 23rd of November, scoring the team's equalising goal. Between 14 and 26 December, Kane scored in 3 consecutive 2-1 wins for Tottenham, against Swansea City, Burnley and Leicester City respectively. On the 1st of January 2015, Kane scored twice and won a penalty as Tottenham defeated rivals and league leaders Chelsea 5-3. And he scored a further 2 in a 3-0 away win against West Bromwich Albion on the 31st of January, including one from a penalty. Kane set up Christian Eriksen's late equaliser against Sheffield United on the 28th of January 2015, a goal which put Tottenham into the 2015 League Cup final. His performances led to him being named as the Premier League Player of the Month for January 2015. On the 2nd of February 2015, Kane signed a new 5.5-year contract with the club. 5 days later, he scored both of Tottenham's goals as they came from behind to defeat Arsenal in the North London derby, his 21st and 22nd goals of the season across all competitions. After scoring against Arsenal, Liverpool, and West Ham United, Kane was again named as the Premier League Player of the Month for February 2015, becoming only the 4th player to win the award in consecutive months. Tottenham lost the League Cup final 2-0 to rivals Chelsea on the 1st of March 2015, which Kane described as the worst feeling in the world. 20 days later, he scored his first Premier League hat-trick in a 4-3 home win over his former loan club Leicester. This brought him to 19 league goals in the season, making him the division's top scorer. On the 5th of April, Kane captained Tottenham for the first time in a 0-0 draw with Burnley at Turf Moor. 2 weeks later, he scored his 30th goal of the season in a 3-1 win against Newcastle United at St James's Park, making him the first Tottenham player to reach that milestone since Gary Lineker in 1991-92. Later that month, he was included as one of 2 forwards in the PFA Team of the Year, alongside Chelsea's Diego Costa. He was also voted the PFA Young Player of the Year. On the 24th of May 2015, he headed in an Eric Dyer cross for the only goal of an away win over Everton on the final day of the season to confirm 5th place for Tottenham, thus qualifying them to the group stage of the following season's UEFA Europa League. It was his 21st goal of the league campaign, equaling a Premier League club record alongside Teddy Sheringham, Jurgen Klinsmann, and Gareth Bale. At the end of the season, Kane remarked that he had done more in the single campaign than he had expected to do in his whole career. 2015-16 season. On Tottenham's pre-season tour of Australia, Kane attracted numerous fans while visiting the Westfield Sydney shopping centre, resulting in the club sending a minibus to escort him away. On the 29th of July 2015, Tottenham were the guests in the 2015 MLS All-Star Game at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Commerce City, Colorado. They lost 2-1 to the MLS All-Stars, with Kane scoring their consolation goal in the 37th minute after beating a challenge from Omar Gonzalez, and he was later substituted in the 77th minute. Kane's squad number was changed from 18 to 10, previously worn by Emmanuel Adebayor. In an interview with the Daily Telegraph, he said that he changed the number to become a club legend. With Adebayor and Roberto Soldado having been put up for sale, he began the season as the club's only forward, and the third-choice captain behind Hugo Lloris and Jan Vertonghen. After a 748-minute drought, he scored his first goal of the season on the 26th of September 2015 as Tottenham came from behind to defeat leaders Manchester City 4-1. 8 days later, he scored an own goal from John Joe Shelvey's corner kick away to Swansea City, but Tottenham fought back to a 2-2 draw. On the 25th of October 2015, Kane scored a hat-trick, including a penalty which he won himself, as Tottenham came from conceding a first-minute goal to triumph 5-1 away to Bournemouth at Dean Court. 8 days later, he recorded his fifth goal of the season with the final goal in a 3-1 win at home to Aston Villa. On the 8th of November 2015, he gave Tottenham a half-time lead against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium, albeit in a 1-1 draw. This goal past Petr Cech was from his first touch of Danny Rose's long pass. 18 days after that, he recorded his ninth goal in 6 matches, the only one of an away match against Qarabağ FK, qualifying Tottenham to the knockout stages of the season's UEFA Europa League. On the 19th of December 2015, Kane made his 100th appearance for the club in a 2-0 win away to Southampton, and scored his 10th goal in his last 10 matches. A week later, he added 2 more in a 3-0 win over former loan employers Norwich, putting him on 27 Premier League goals for the year 2015, breaking Sheringham's club record. On the 10th of January 2016, he scored his 50th goal for Tottenham in a 2-2 draw against Leicester in the third round of the FA Cup. Kane was Premier League Player of the Month for the third time in March 2016, after scoring 5 goals in 4 games, including one in the North London derby. After scoring his 22nd league goal of the season in a 1-1 draw against Liverpool at Anfield on the 2nd of April, Kane became the club's highest goal scorer in a single Premier League season. With 6 games of the season remaining, Kane ended the season winning the Premier League Golden Boot, finishing 1 goal ahead of Sergio Aguero and Jamie Vardy with 25 goals. He was named in the PFA Team of the Year for the 2nd consecutive season, as he helped Tottenham to a 3rd-place finish and UEFA Champions League qualification. 2016-17 season. In the absence of Hugo Lloris, Kane captained Tottenham in their opening home match of the 2016-17 season, assisting Victor Wanyama's winning goal as Spurs beat Crystal Palace 1-0 in a London derby at White Hart Lane. He opened his scoring account in the 4th matchday of the Premier League season, providing the final goal in a 4-0 win away to Stoke City. On the 14th of September 2016, Kane made his UEFA Champions League debut in Spurs' 2-1 loss to Monaco at Wembley Stadium. 4 days later, he scored the winning goal against Sunderland in the Premier League, but had to be helped off the field after twisting his right ankle attempting a tackle of Papi Djilobodji. Reports indicated that the ligaments in Kane's ankle were damaged, ruling him out for 6 to 8 weeks. After missing 5 league matches and 3 in the Champions League group phase, Kane made his return at rivals Arsenal on the 6th of November, scoring from the penalty spot to equalise in a 1-1 draw. On the 22nd of November, he scored his first Champions League goal in the return fixture against Monaco at the Stade Louis II, a game which saw Spurs eliminated from the competition with a 2-1 loss. On the 1st of December 2016, Kane signed a new contract with Tottenham, keeping him at the club until 2022. On the 1st of January 2017, made his 100th Premier League appearance, scoring the first Premier League goal of the new year against Watford on the 27-minute mark, which he extended to a brace after scoring again in the 33rd minute. In his first match after the birth of his daughter, Kane scored a hat-trick in a 4-0 win against West Brom on the 14th of January. In the 5th round of the 2016-17 FA Cup on the 19th of February 2017, Kane scored all 3 goals as Tottenham beat Fulham 3-0. This meant his 5th career hat-trick, and his 2nd in 2017. On the 26th of February 2017, Kane once again scored a hat-trick as Tottenham beat Stoke 4-0, his third hat-trick in 9 games, and his second in consecutive domestic games. The first of these goals was his 100th in club football. He was named Player of the Month for the 4th time in his career in February 2017. In March 2017, he injured his ankle in an FA Cup match against former loan club Millwall. On the 15th of April, Kane scored his 20th Premier League goal of the season against Bournemouth on his first start in a month after returning from injury. This made him the 4th player in Premier League history to achieve 20 goals in 3 consecutive seasons, after Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry and Ruud van Nistelrooy. On the 20th of April, Kane was named in the PFA Team of the Year for the 3rd consecutive season. He was also included in the 6-player shortlists for the PFA Players Player of the Year and PFA Young Player of the Year awards. 2 days later, he scored in Tottenham's 4-2 FA Cup semi-final loss to rivals Chelsea at Wembley Stadium. In the last ever match at White Hart Lane on the 14th of May, Harry Kane scored the 2-0 goal as Tottenham beat Manchester United 2-1. With 2 games remaining of the season, Kane stood on 22 goals, 2 fewer than Romelu Lukaku. With a combined 7 goals in the last 2 fixtures however, a 6-1 win over reigning champions Leicester City and a 7-1 win against Hull City, Kane finished as the top scorer of the Premier League on 29 goals, and thus won his 2nd consecutive Golden Boot, becoming only the 5th player to do so. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?